Hello everybody, my name is Mario Gomez and this is my discussion thread, Decision Making in Flight. So the scenario is that you're a commercial pilot a student pilot working on your commercial certificate. You imagine that you've just completed 123 nautical mile from KRIC to KMQI, but you're unable to land due to a deer on the runway. So what do we do? So the trip's 123 nautical mile flight from KRIC to KMQI. Pilot's a student pilot in commercial flight training. Aircraft unknown, but fuel endurance considerations should be made in this scenario. Environment, wildlife on the runway. External pressures, adhering to the training schedule, pressure to complete the planned flight, and to log the cross-country time for training requirements. How would I handle this situation? I would use the decision-making process, the decide decision-making process. So you detect the hazard on the runway on final approach, assess its significance, safety of flight is compromised, landing is not possible. So we would choose to execute an immediate go-around. Options are return to KRIC, divert to an alternate KORF or KECG, or you can hold over the runway for the wildlife to exit. Obviously, we're going to do and execute an immediate go-around. Communicate the hazard on the CTAF frequency for any other aircraft in the area. Maybe contact approach control for any inbound aircraft coming into that area so that they're aware of the hazard on the runway. Assess my fuel, weather considerations, and then I would reevaluate or reassess conditions and adjust the plan as needed. Decision making continued. Am I required to go back to Richmond? No. Can you still log this as cross-country time? Not if you return back to KRIC. However, the cross-country can be logged regardless or whether or not the intended destination landing occurred, as long as it's 50 nautical miles from the point of origin. So if you did divert to like KECG, that is 93 nautical miles from KRIC, which would satisfy the 50 nautical mile requirement. What regulatory considerations apply to the scenario? 491.3 gives the pilot and command authority to deviate as necessary for safety. What Dare County factors should be considered? This is non-towered, limited services, and limited operating hours. How does the PAVE checklist apply? So pilot, no factor. Obviously, you might not have seen this kind of scenario, but as long as you've executed a go-around in the past, you should be fine. Aircraft fuel endurance is key, so that is one thing that we really need to consider, whether or not we can deviate or how long we can hold over the runway. Environment, wildlife on the runway, that's the environment. External pressures, again, adhering to training schedule, pressure to complete the planned flight, to log the cross-country flight time. Here's our regulatory considerations. 91.3, pilot and command, we went over that. 91, 151, 167, fuel reserve requirements for VFR flight. And 91.3 might let you deviate from that if you need to hold over the runway, if you don't have enough fuel endurance to get to another airport. Let's see, 61.1 cross-country time logged. So we went over that as far as being 50 nautical miles from the point of origin if you were to divert. Faith and Wisdom's Proverbs 3:5-6 emphasize trusting divine guidance rather than relying solely on personal understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and learn not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. So in aviation terms, that means, humbly acknowledgement of limitations. Despite training and preparation, unexpected situations can occur, and that might be beyond your personal experience. Decision making, avoid rush decisions driven from frustration or external pressures. Seek wisdom from multiple sources, consulting weather services, airport information, any other regulatory guidance, rather than making isolated decisions. Maintaining calm confidence, drawing on faith. Remember to remain composed under pressure, enabling clear thinking and better decision making. And here's a list of my resources. Hope you all have a great day. Thank you for watching.